Well, it's time to go home. I can take my pens out of my pocket, don't need those. I could even put my sunglasses on, but I won't do that for the moment. Got the radio turned off, and disappointingly I have to start an engine. An internal combustion engine. And that's disappointingly because I was hoping that by April, and today is the 1st of April, I would have my hands on my Nissan Leaf electric. And you know what? I've been let down badly by Nissan. So here I am, just by the beach. This is where I work. And you'll see the beach as I just turn this next corner. Behind me, quite a few people there. It's the Easter Sunday, and people are having a bit of fun and doing bits and bobs on the beach. I'll just make sure I don't run a little girl over as I go down the road here. And off I go on the way home. And another good thing, I'm not working tomorrow, it's my day off, and that's good. It's not been a very busy Easter weekend in terms of people being at the campsite, so I'm not too worried about that. I've got little bumps in the road there, bumps all the way down there. Anyway, so tomorrow there'll be not that much work I'm missing out on, because it being Easter Monday and the end of the holiday weekend and people going home. Some people have gone home already today, and well, I'm sure they had a lovely time anyway. And maybe they're going home early because I want to miss out on some of the traffic tomorrow. But I think it could be just as bad today in places on the road today. So people heading back towards Barcelona and Girona and Olot and various places like that in this neighbourhood. Anyway, so I've been really wondering what I should do about the electric car I'm buying, the Nissan Leaf, because of the Rapidgate problem. And you know what they do, they like to put a gate on the end of things if there's any sort of problem of whatever sort, whether it be Watergate or any of the other gates that have been going on. It's an American thing. Anyway, so Rapidgate is where you can't drive more than 300 miles. I don't know how much that is in kilometres. It probably is around about 400 kilometres, 350 to 400 kilometres, and when you get that far down the road, the car decides it doesn't want to charge up very quickly anymore. Hence the Rapidgate. So what happens is that normally when you're on a rapid charger, you'll get between 40 and 50 kilowatt hours or kilowatts thrown into your vehicle for the first part of the charging. It calms down and becomes less when it gets above 75%, I think. I don't know what the figures are for it because I haven't got my car yet. And so that, you know, it basically you can't push so much electrons into the battery when it gets past a certain stage. So anyway, this Rapidgate thing is they've got some battery management, thermal management on the charging, which says to the battery that once it gets to a certain temperature, it will only allow you to put in, well, it looks like the figure is 22 kilowatts. So, and watch out here, the road here has got cones in it, so that the traffic can move a bit easier. And it's moving, so that's good. Anyway, back to my story. So, you'll be sort of going along, say you've got 100% full charge in the morning when you leave your house because you've charged it up at home, and then you go on your first charge, and you can, as long as you haven't been hammering it, you're going to be able to charge and get up to 80% battery within about 40 minutes or so. That's what Nissan have been selling the thing on. They've been saying, sure, no problem, rapid charges, you'll go from say 10-15% up to 80%, and you'll do it in 40 minutes, no problem. But it seems that what's happening is that the battery gets rather warmer for some people if they're heavy on the right boot and they want to drive along the motorway at 110, 120 kilometers per hour, and the battery gets warm, and when the battery's warm it doesn't accept the electrons so fast, and maybe it will accept them a bit faster than the Nissan battery management is allowing, but what's happening is that they're doing some battery management to protect the battery so that they have less degradation of the battery over time, and so the power going in, instead of being 40 or 50, is more like 22. So that's going to be bad, because when you get up to a certain percentage, it means that you're going to be charging it 22, half of what you could be putting in there, and you're going to basically be waiting a couple of hours at least to get your battery charged. And if the battery gets even hotter, it could be that you'll get even further and the battery will charge even slower. That's not going to really affect me, because to be quite honest, when I've driven for 300 kilometres, 400 maximum, I'm going to be thinking, well, it's time for a rest for the day, and park up and you know, put it on charge for the night and start the next day with a full battery. Assuming, of course, that the charging, you know, overnight like that works just as fast as normal after you've been, you know, running around all day long at 110 kilometres per hour. So some people have been getting a bit upset about this, and they think that Nissan have let them down. And well, it's maybe the case that that's the case, but who knows? I mean, maybe Nissan knew about it and decided not to say anything. Maybe they didn't know about it, and it's something that's come to light because real-world users have found this problem when they've used it in real-world situations. Although, having said that, this really first came to light where some people over in England, they drive cars from Leicestershire right to the top of Scotland, and I think it's something like around about 500 or 600 kilometres, and they do it over a short period of time. They want to get these cars there as quick as possible, and so they had a little race between a Hyundai Ioniq, a old 30 kilowatts battery Nissan Leaf, and the new 40 kilowatt hour battery. So the Ioniq did really well because it charges very fast because it's got good battery management. The 30 kilowatt Leaf was doing okay, kept more or less the same pace as the Ioniq, and I think they class it as a draw between those two cars, which is pretty good going. Because the battery on the Ioniq is actually sort of 28 kilowatts of usable, and it's probably got a little bit more than that of, you know, a bit of space, a bit of a headroom and so on. So basically the Nissan Leaf came in 3 hours or maybe 4 hours later, and the driver of that car wasn't terribly happy. And I'm going to have to do a bit of lane changing here because there's cars coming into the main road here slowly, and there's some traffic problems. The Spanish drivers, they do like to do this thing where they come onto a main road, and usually what happens is that they basically just pull in, and whatever's on the road has to sort of get out of the way. Anyway, that wasn't happening back there, and slow cars were coming in at night, so pull out into the outside lane to make sure things kept safe and didn't bump into anybody. If I had my electric car, then I could have stayed in the same lane, because it's got this thing where it will slow down to whatever the speed is of the cars going in front, and if there was something going really slow in there, it would have slowed right down for me, and I just have to stay in the same lane, and intelligent cruise control would just do the job for me. But anyway, I probably would have changed lanes anyway, but still. So this Rapidgate problem, I mean, every man and his dog who's got a Nissan Leaf or has ordered a Nissan Leaf or was thinking about ordering a Nissan Leaf, and some people who don't even have a Nissan Leaf and no intention of buying one, have been complaining about it. And there's one guy there, he used to have a Nissan Leaf, the old sort, and he's recently changed over to a Zoe, and he's been complaining about it. I don't know why, he's not even got a horse in the race, so what's the point, you know? Anyway, what am I going to do about it? Well, I mean, it's not really going to affect me, as I say, when I've driven a lot of kilometres. I'm ready for putting my feet up, having a rest, and thinking about the driving I'm going to be doing the next day. It could affect me if I was going to do a long trip. I mean, say for instance I was deciding that I was going to go for a drive back to Ireland, for instance. I don't know how like that is, but I mean I could, you know. I mean I might want to sort of stretch the limits of the car and see how far I could travel in it. So I could think, well, okay, let's drive to Ireland, and I've got to say drive all the way through France, and I don't want to have to stop every 400 kilometres or 500 kilometres and have a long break. I might want to sort of break the back of the journey, as it were, and keep driving. But that's not going to happen very often. I mean, the chance of it happening is slim to none. But, you know, I mean, when you have a car, you want it to be able to do everything, especially if it's a, you know, a costly car. I mean, not as costly as something like a Tesla or an iPace, but I mean, they have bigger batteries in them and you can go further anyway. Mind you, bigger batteries require more charging, and either the power has to go into the batteries faster, 100 kilowatts or 150 kilowatts, whichever way they're doing it, or you basically have to wait longer. So I'm thinking that I will probably be thinking more along the lines of, if I can get the car, I'll stick with it and go with it. The only other problem is, of course, is that resale values. Something that I really don't think is going to worry me too much either, because I'm thinking along the lines that if I buy this car, I'll spend a lot of money on it. I want to keep it for as long as possible, because you get depreciation on big, expensive cars anyway. So keeping it for as long as possible and get to the point where the depreciation is not going to be any effect would be a good idea, I think. So that's something else, depreciation. I mean, it still could be that in, you know, 5 years' time, 6 years' time, when I'm thinking of changing the car to something else, it could be thinking that, well, maybe I should have bought a car that wasn't going to depreciate as much, because everyone remembers how bad this Rapidgate thing was, or Rapidgate. So what do I do then? I don't know. And the thing is that next year I'm going to be 60 years old, and if I'm keeping this car for 7 or 8 years, I'll be fairly old by then. I mean, will I want to buy another car at that stage? Will I be interested in driving? Will I need to have a car? Probably will do. I mean, I've probably got I could have another 10 years driving after that even. Who knows? You don't know what's going to happen, do you? So that's depreciation, that's the other thing. Now, the other thing that's influencing my decision at the moment is the problem I've got with Nissan, and the fact that they can't build the cars fast enough. I ordered my car in December the 13th. I made a change to the order and decided I wanted a Techno version when it got round to January the 9th, and it seems I might have got put back to the end of the queue when I did that change to the order. Oh look, the garage doors, the gate is open, I can drive straight in, lovely. Just got to open the garage door and close, oh dear, close the gate as well. And the garage door is opening, and the dog's in the drive, wanting to be run over. Not my dog, it's a noisy beagle, which is belonging to my sister-in-law. And here we go into the garage. So basically that's it. Do I wait until the next version, the 60 kilowatt versions, comes out? And that's going to be out, who knows, they might announce it in October, and it won't be available in Spain until we get through till April or May next year. I mean, do I want to wait that long? Who knows? Anyway, bye-bye now. Talk to you again soon. Do have a look at the EV20Q podcast. You can get it on iTunes and also on TuneIn. I chat to owners of electric vehicles and find out what it's like to actually own one. Have a listen.